Today I'm showing you guys how to make my favorite salsa. It's so simple, just fresh tomatoes, onions, cilantro, and a habanero pepper. We'll also add some fresh lime juice. It's really easy to make and just a good topping on anything. So let's hop into it. I'll start out by rolling my lime, and I do this to release the juices in the lime so it just is easier to squeeze and we get more juice out of it. Then I'll slice it in half, and I'm just going to do that with every single lime that I have, and then we'll get them ready for juicing. You can either use a citrus juicer to do this, or you can use kind of like a little hand juicer. That's what I'm going to use, is a hand juicer that collects everything into the container and seeds them, so I don't have to worry about any stragglers or seeds or pulp getting into my lime juice. But if you do get any of those things into your juice mixture, it's actually not that big of a deal, and it'll help it taste good, except for seeds. They're a little bit bitter. So just squeeze these and strain them like normal. Next is our onion. I use half an onion for this recipe, but I'll go ahead and slice this in half and also just peel the other side. Then for the next recipe that I make, it's already ready and it's not a big deal. I think I just like making things easy on myself. So even if I'm only going to use half of the onion for this recipe, it's nice to pre-prep it. I know I'll probably use an onion later, so, makes it simple. Then I'm going to give it a slice down the diagonal. You can use the lines of the onion as a guide to slice it. Clearly, I am not doing that. I'm just slicing wherever I want, and it honestly doesn't matter. Then I'll cut it crosswise a couple times, and this is just an easy way to get a dice on your onion. So you just do a little crosswise cut, and then you slice it again from the side, and then you have a nicely evenly diced onion, and you have a ton of onions to be able to use. So like I said, this recipe only needs half an onion. This can also be a very rough chop. Don't worry about it being perfect. You just want to get everything all together because you're going to want those little chunks whenever you scoop it up with your chip. So I'll add it to my bowl, and then I'll move on to our next step. We have our tomatoes on the vine, and I love using these because they're fresh and nicely ripened. They're also a little bit firm, so we can get really good chops from it. I like to mix up the thickness of the tomatoes as I chop them. So I do some really thick cuts, and then I do some smaller cuts, just so whenever I'm scooping up things with my chip, I've got lots of different sizes, lots of different textures. And since we're not cooking this, we don't have to worry about everything being evenly sliced. So just go for it, cut things how you want to. Sometimes I cut them into halves and halves again. Sometimes I cut them into halves and then slice them into little pieces. There's no right way or wrong way to do this salsa. You just do what your heart tells you to do. The most important thing is getting all those tomatoes back in so that you can get the juices nicely and evenly distributed, so that you have just some nice extra juice to kind of make things a little, juicier, I guess. It's the only way that I can think to describe it. Then we're adding our habanero pepper. I like habaneros because they are hot, so I leave my seeds in with the habanero. If you don't want it to be so hot, use a pepper like a jalapeno, and then be sure to take out the seeds so that you don't get the heat. Removing the seeds just ensures that you're not going to get a ton of heat in there, but it still gives you the nice pepper flavor. Now it's time to add our cilantro. So I'm pulling apart the leaves from this cilantro, just getting the actual leaves. You can use the stems as well, but I'm not using the stems for this recipe. If you do get some in there, that's all right. And then we're just going to give our cilantro a good rough chop and just chop it up until it is nice and finely chopped. I love cilantro. Some people think cilantro tastes like soap because they have an interesting gene, but I like to add that freshness from the cilantro to my salsas. So I go ahead and add a whole bunch. And when I say a bunch, I mean a full bunch of cilantro. You're going to chop that up until it is nice and roughly chopped, and then you'll just add it into your bowl with everything else. Just add it on top and you should be good. After I add the cilantro, I give everything a nice toss because we have all of our ingredients in the salsa already. So I just want to make sure that I get everything evenly coated, that I get the cilantro on the undersides of it, and that I just kind of get everything evenly spaced out. After this, we're going to add in, you guessed it, the limes. The lime juice gets poured over the top, and then we're going to give it a good little mix again after that. We're also going to add in our salt at this step, and I think it's really important to season to taste, so you can sprinkle salt over, go ahead and give it a good toss to kind of incorporate everything, and then taste it. See if you like the amount of salt that's in it. If not, you can go ahead and add more. I would recommend adding about a half teaspoon at a time and then mixing it up, tasting it, and seeing what you like. You can always add salt in, but you can't take salt out, so just be sure to be very careful because you don't want to over salt this and overpower it. After that, you're finished. So this is done. It is super simple. You can let it sit in the fridge and let it marinate for a few hours, or you can just eat it with chips right after you're done making it, which is what I typically do. And yeah, this is great on salads. It's great on tacos. It's delicious by itself as a snack. I like eating it with other vegetables. It's just a really, really good fresh salad. You can also eat it on its own, just as is. Grab a spoon and go to town. But yeah, I think this is one of the most simple recipes that I have, and I just absolutely love the way that it tastes, and I hope that you guys try it and you enjoy it. It's an easy one and it's delicious. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I make recipe videos all the time. I make foods for people with diabetes, and I always hope that I can help you try something new and find something that you enjoy while also keeping your blood sugars in check. So, like I said, if you like it, be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and let me know if you've tried this recipe down in the comments section. I appreciate you guys watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.